Good morning, students. In the last period, we have studied the Monera. Now, in the today's period, we are going to study here the kingdom Protista. So, these are the primitive organisms. Here, what are the characters of the kingdom Protista? Generally, all unicellular organisms are present. Here all organisms, they are unicellular, but eukaryotic organisms are also found. These are unicellular, but here the eukaryotic organisms are also found. These organisms shows link between Protista. These organisms shows the link between Protista and plantae, fungi and bacteria. So here it is a link between all these organisms, that is between the Protista and between the plantae, bacteria and the fungi. So there are some modifications we will get in their cell structure also. Now here the further classification is there, the plant-like Protista. So here we will get for the further classification. These are termed as chrysophytes. So here is the another terminology, chrysophytes. They are commonly called as phytoplankton. These are smallest in the nature. As we know that these are unicellular, they are called as chrysophytes. They are called as the phytoplankton. How are the cells? The cells are microscopic. खूप लहान आहे, सूक्ष्म जीव आहेत. They are microscopic and mostly photosynthetic. They are able to produce their own food. Mostly photosynthetic and are major producers in the ocean. जगामधले सर्वात जास्त झाड असं म्हणतात की समुद्रामध्ये आहे, कारण तो खूप मोठ्या प्रमाणामध्ये समुद्र हा पृथ्वीवर आहे आणि त्याच्यामध्ये असणारा शैवाळ algae, it is they are the many in the number and it is the major producer in the ocean. म्हणून here we will get the example diatoms. डाय म्हणजे दोन, ॲटम. जसा एखादा शिंपला असतो, शिंपला एकत्र येऊन बनतो. मॉलस्कनमध्ये आपण पाहणार आहोत की दोन हे शिंपले एकत्र येतात आणि त्या प्रकारे सोप केस जशी असते, एखाद्या सोप आपण जी सोप ठेवतो बाथरूममध्ये, त्या सोप केसच्या मध्ये जसे दोन भाग असतात. सो हियर डायटम्स आर दोज whose body wall is made up of two soap box like fitting silica covers. सिलिका कवरिंग त्याच्यावर आहे, दोन सोप लाईक, म्हणून त्याला आपण काय म्हणतो, डायॲटम्स असं म्हणत असतो. सी हियर वी आर गोइंग टू स्टडी हियर द किंगडम प्रोटिस्टा. दीज ऑर्गॅनिझम्स आर युनिसेल्युलर ऑर्गॅनिझम्स. They are present there. We will get the eukaryotic organisms also, and here we know that these organisms shows the link between Protista, plantae as well as bacteria, and here the fungi also. And now we will find that here number one, plant, that is the further classification, plant like Protist. So here they are called as chrysophytes. They are commonly called as phytoplankton. They are commonly called as phytoplankton and they are microscopic and mostly photosynthetic. They are able to produce their own food and they are major producers in the ocean. समुद्रामध्ये जे जीव आहेत, मेजर प्रोड्युसर्स इन द ओशन. समुद्रामध्ये खूप प्रकारचे शैवाळ आपल्याला मिळतात. काही लाल रंगाचे, त्याचं पुढं क्लासिफिकेशन आहे, त्याला रोडोफायसी असं म्हणतात. पिवळ्या रंगाचे फिओफायसी आहेत, बेसिलारिओफायसी आहेत. रंगहीन आहेत, त्याला सायनोफायसी असं आपण म्हणतो. मीन्स दे आर द मेन और मेजर प्रोड्युसर्स इन द ओशन. एक्झाम्पल इज गिवन. दीज आर कॉल्ड ॲज द डायॲटम्स. डाय मीन्स टू, डायॲटम्स. आपण पाहतो की एखादे शिंपले जसे एकाला एक दोन एकत्र चिकटतात, आपल्याला त्याच्यामध्ये पियर्स मिळतात, मोती वगैरे काही याच्यामध्ये. सो हियर बॉडी वॉल इज मेड अप ऑफ two soap box like structures and here these are made up of the silica covers. Now the another type, that is the animal like Protista. There where the diatoms are plants like Protista. Now here we get the animals like the Protista. So what they are called as? They are called as the protozoans. They are first form protozoans. They lack the cell wall. त्यांच्या पेशीवर cell wall नाही. Cell wall is absent. They lack the cell wall. They are heteromorph. Means depend on the food on the another one. They are heteromorphs and are believed to be the primitive animal forms. As we know that diatoms they are large in number. Here we will get also the primitive animal forms here, and amoeboid protozoans have pseudopodia for the locomotion. See here is the example. Amoeba, it is irregular in the shape, and here no definite nucleus. Definite nucleus is absent. Other cell organelles they are also absent, but here as it shows the irregular body shape, but it having the pseudopodia, it is useful for the locomotion. Plant single cell the animal, but here the pseudopodia they are for the locomotion. Example is given, that is the amoeba is the example. Second is the paramecium, that is the sleeper shaped. Here sleeper shaped organism, paramecium, it having cilia for the locomotion. There the megaid, micro and mega nucleus they are also present, but here for the locomotion cilia they are present. Here the amoeboid protozoans have pseudopodia for the locomotion, and amoeba is free living. See here how is the nature. Amoeba is the free living. It is found in sweet water, and here we know that it uses the pseudopodia for the locomotion. And now, but the Antaniba, another species, that is the Antaniba Histological. Antaniba is found inside the body, and it is causing a disease called as the dysentery. So dysentery disease, it is caused by the Antaniba. See here we will get the variation. One is free living, that is the amoeba, and another is present inside the intestine, that is the causing disease called as the dysentery, that is the Antaniba Histological or Antaniba. So here the variation we get in the forms also. Here these are heterotrophs. They are believed to be the primitive animals. They are the animals like the amoeba and the paramecium. But in amoeba also we will get the variation. These protozoans have pseudopodia, that is the amoeba, for the locomotion, and cilia in the paramecium useful for the locomotion. So amoeba is free living, and entamoeba it is present inside the intestine. So the entamoeba is causing the disease called as the that is the dysentery. And there are some protozoans, they are flagellated protozoans, and they have flagella for the locomotion. एक चापका सारखा किंवा वरच्या बाजूला एक free असा long structure, hair-like structure, that is the flagella is present. So flagellated protozoans have flagella for the locomotion. Trypanosoma, there is another species, Trypanosoma, that is a flagellated protozoan. It causes the sleeping sickness. खूप झोप येते काही जणांना, तो एक रोग आहे, that is called as the sleeping sickness, that is caused by the trypanosoma. It is the flagellated and it is causing the sleeping sickness. Now here the paramecium have cilia for the locomotion, and plasmodium, we know that there is a disease called as malaria. आपल्याला जीव आणि ताप, थंडी आणि ताप आणणारा हा प्लास्मोडियम व्हायवॅक्स आहे किंवा प्लास्मोडियम स्पेसिस आहे. इट इज स्पोरोझोअन प्रोटोझोआ causes the malaria. So here we get the variation. One is the kingdom Protista. Here the plants like Protista, here the animals like Protista, and now here we will study the diflagellate, and these diflagellates, these are aquatic, these are marine and photosynthetic in the nature. The cell wall is made up of cellulose. आपण काही ठिकाणी पाहतो की एक तांबडा समुद्र नावाचा समुद्र आहे. तो तांबडा समुद्र का झाला? दॅट इज ड्यू टू कॉज ऑफ दिस algae present in it, that is the called as gonolox, that is the algae. It is red in nature and the total ocean is looking like the red. So here these dinoflagellates, these are aquatic, पाण्यामध्ये सापडणारे, marine, generally they are found in the marine water and they are photosynthetic also. They having the photosynthetic pigments and the cell wall is made up of cellulose. Here the cell wall is made up of cellulose. They have pair of flagella. त्यांच्यामध्ये एक जोडी आहे. They have pair of flagella and they have the wide range of photosynthetic pigment. So we know that in the next year we have a physiological experiment that is called as the paper chromatography. So on the paper chromatography, different types of plant pigments, they are found or they are separated. These are chlorophyll B, chlorophyll A, xanthophyll and the carotene. Here also we will find that in this range we will find the yellow, green, red and here the brown and blue color also we will find it. Here the gonolox, that is the example, it is diflagellated, responsible for the red tide and we know that it makes the sea appears red. समुद्रच हा लाल दिसायला लागतो. So we are going to complete here the kingdom. We have to study the other examples in the tomorrow's period, but this is the kingdom Protista. So unicellular organisms, they are present. They are showing the eukaryotic organisms. The organism shows the link between Protista, plantae, fungi and the bacteria. Now here first one, they are called as the plants like Protista. They are called as chrysopods. They are commonly called as phytoplankton. They are called as phytoplankton. These are microscopic, generally photosynthetic and they are the major producers in the ocean. समुद्रामधले जास्त अन्न निर्माण करणारे, they are major producer. So in the ocean, here example is diatoms. Body wall is made up of the two soap box like fittings and it is made up of the silica covers. These are the plants like Protista. Now the animals like Protista, these are called as protozoans and they lack the cell wall. And here they are heterotrophs. They are present for food habit on the others and they are believed to be the primitive animal form. Now the amoeboid protozoans, they have pseudopodia for the locomotion and sometimes here in the paramecium like unicellular microscopic organism, cilia are useful for the locomotion. But in amoeba also, here is the amoeba. No doubt it is found in the water. There is the Antaniba. It is present inside the intestine and it causes the amoebic dysentery. त्यामुळं dysentery हगवण नावाचा रोग माणसामध्ये होतो. And here Antaniba, it is the endoparasite. It is causing the disease called as the dysentery. Now here flagellated protozoans, they have flagella for the locomotion. हालचाल करण्यासाठी फ्लॅजेल्ला असतो. ट्रिपॅनोसोमा माणसामध्ये होणारा जो रोग आहे स्लीपिंग सिकनेस, त्याला खूप झोप येते. दॅट इज द ट्रिपॅनोसोमा. इट इज द बायफ्लॅजेलेटेड और फ्लॅजेलेटेड. इट इज कॉजिंग द स्लीपिंग सिकनेस. अँड नाउ हियर द सम dinoflagellates, they are aquatic, marine and photosynthesis. The cell wall is made up of cellulose. Cell wall is made up of cellulose. They have pair of flagella and they have the wide range of the photosynthetic pigments: yellow, green, red and brown as well as blue also. Here is one example, gonolox, that is the it is red in color. It makes the sea red in color, means the water it is red like red in color. So we are going to study here the wide range. It is included in the kingdom Protista. Thank you.